All right. Good morning, everybody. It is 10:28, and we're joined by the new senator from the volunteer state, Senator Bill Hagerty. Senator, good morning.
Good morning, and let me just say it's great to be back with you, and what an honor it is to be serving as Tennessee's United States Senator. I was touched by the gravity of the situation. I was fortunate to have my wife and 4 children with me when Vice President Pence swore me in. You know, that's the second time he's sworn me in the past 4 years. He swore me in back in 2017 to represent our great nation as U.S. Ambassador to Japan. Now I get to represent our great state in the United States Senate. It's quite an honor.
Well, Senator, I'm sure that it is. And so what's up first on your personal agenda as far as the state of Tennessee is concerned?
Well, we have put together a terrific team. We'll be rolling that out, but today and tomorrow, the focus is going to be very much on what's happening in Georgia, and then it's going to be on the Electoral College. I can't tell you how important the Georgia election is today, and I know a lot of people that listen to you there may be residents of Georgia. Anybody that resides in Georgia needs to make sure they get out and vote today, because the fate of our nation hangs in the balance here. We need to make certain that Republicans hold the Senate, because Chuck Schumer has made it clear. Their goal first is to take Georgia and then to forever change the United States of America. They've talked about packing the courts. They've talked about creating new states like the District of Columbia, perhaps Puerto Rico, adding new senators into the Senate, all voting Democrat, of course. And, you know, they want to take down the 2017 Tax Act that was the impetus for turning our economy around and making the United States the strongest economy in the world. They want to reverse all of that, increase taxes on Tennesseans, increase regulations, take away our freedoms, and we've got to stand strong today in Georgia so that doesn't happen.
So any predictions? What do you think is going to happen in Georgia today as the nation watches?
I think that Georgians and people that are conservative like us are really appreciating the depth and the gravity of what's at stake here. And I think if we get a great turnout today, which I'm optimistic that we will, we'll see a good result. But we cannot take anything for granted. I know a lot of people in Bradley County, Hamilton County have been down working in North Georgia. The president was in Dalton last night. I talked to him yesterday. He felt good about how things are looking down there. But again, it's too close to take anything for granted. So we've got to get all hands turn out today and vote.
We're joined by United States Senator Bill Hagerty, sworn in Sunday, as he said, from the volunteer state. Well, today very consequential in Georgia. Tomorrow also very consequential. You and Senator Marsha Blackburn have said that you will oppose the congressional certification of the election of Joe Biden on Wednesday. Senator, I must ask you, do you feel, first of all, why are you doing this? And I also want to get you to respond to former Republican Senator Bob Corker's comments last night when he says that this undermines our democratic process.
Well, I have a very hard time putting a rubber stamp on what happened in this election, Steve. You know what happened. The Democrats used the pandemic as an excuse, as a lever, to go in and end run the United States Constitution. The United States Constitution is clear. It's the responsibility of state legislatures to set up and put the rules in place to operate presidential elections. It's not in the domain of activist judges. It's not in the domain of the executive branch officials like secretaries of state. It's certainly not in the domain of bureaucrats. It is in the domain of state legislatures. And what's happened here is we've had a violation of the Constitution that's taken place. And if someone doesn't stand up to this, if we just rubber stamp it, we will allow it to stand. And if we allow this to stand, we'll essentially allow them to institutionalize this chaos. And what will happen next in the next election? We've got to take a stand now. That's why we want to form this commission, to get to the bottom of what happened. We want it to happen very quickly. We put a 10-day limit on it. I think it could happen even sooner. But to get to the bottom of what's happened and put it back to the state legislatures, to have them do their duty, follow their constitutional responsibility, and truly assess what's happened here. The states have to clean this up.
We're joined by Senator Bill Hagerty this morning. Senator, one more topic of a lot of interest to Tennesseans and, of course, in our local community and in this nation is the vaccine rollout. How do you think it's going let's talk about Tennessee specifically. How do you think it's working so far, sir?
Well, first, let me say this. My hat is off to the president and the entire team that put together Operation Warp Speed. Everyone said this couldn't be done, that a new vaccine could not be developed inside of 8 months, which is exactly what happened. It happened because the president set an ambitious goal. It happened because he was willing to step up and force the agency and the bureaucracies that typically slow these processes down to step up and speed things up and to do everything they can to parallel process. We invested against this heavily, and we saw the private sector step up in spades. And the result is we developed a vaccine in record time. Often, Steve, this could take years to do, and we got it done inside of a number of months, in about 8 months' time. The rollout is underway now. We all want to see it happen faster, but each state is going through the process of putting that in place right now. I think Tennessee is going to be on the forefront. If you think about our logistical strength, FedEx is located right in our state. They're playing a critical role in the distribution of the vaccine. And no one knows logistics better than the state of Tennessee. But if you step back and talk about the vaccine itself, this is the greatest achievement that our nation has accomplished since landing on the moon. We should not lose sight of that as we get focused now on the distribution of the vaccine.
We're joined by United States Senator Bill Hagerty, who was sworn in Sunday as a senator from Tennessee. I don't know if you've heard yet, there is a New Yorker, and I dare say a New Yorker magazine. It may be New York Magazine. My mistake if I'm wrong on the publication. But what they're saying, Senator Hagerty, in an article is that the virus, the coronavirus, COVID-19, came out of a lab accident in China. They have put forth a very long article. Any thought? Your former ambassador to Japan, you were very open about China during your campaign. Any thought on this news that's just coming out this morning?
I've not seen that report, but I can say this. When I served as United States ambassador to Japan, I dealt with China every day. We have the largest component of United States military stationed in Japan than anywhere else in the world. And we're dealing with China militarily, economically, diplomatically. And they have been aggressives and predators in every step. They have these laboratories there in Wuhan, China. You know, they tried to tell us that this virus came from a wet market. The fact is that wet market is right down the street from a laboratory that deals in these types of experimentations. So I certainly, don't take the word of the Chinese government. They've proven to us that that's not possible. Again, I have not seen the report, but I think if you look at probabilities, there definitely is a probability that this vaccine came from a laboratory, and I would give it a higher probability than the suggested excuse from China that it somehow developed in a wet market there. And
for the record, it is New York Magazine. I just checked the source. It is a long article by Brian Walsh. Anyway, Senator Hagerty, listen, one final question. You replaced the retiring Lamar Alexander as senator from Tennessee, and Lamar played the piano. Do you play a musical instrument?
Well, you're kind to ask that. I wish that I was as talented. My children are much better than I am at that. But
he was playing.
I'll have to leave that.
He was playing in the rotunda. You probably saw the footage, at Christmas.
Yeah, he's an excellent pianist. In fact, I've seen him play the Tennessee Waltz with Peggy Lee.
Yeah, that's right.
That's just a remarkable talent
that's
there.
Right.
Very, very much loved in the Senate, and I'm certain that not only will Tennesseans miss his service, but so will his colleagues in the United States Senate. That's been very obvious. He certainly served our state as governor, as the U.S. Secretary of Education, as the head of the University of Tennessee. He even started out as the governor of Boy State as a young man and an Eagle Scout like me. So he certainly had a long career of service, and my hat's off to him for the great service that he's provided.
Senator Bill Hagerty coming to us from Washington this morning. Senator, thank you very much, and appreciate you joining us very much.
Thank you. Much appreciated. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Senator Bill Hagerty on the air with us. That was the senator's first interview since being sworn into office on Sunday. And we appreciate him giving it to us here at Mix 104.1 WCLE. We, of course, everyone thinking and talking about the double runoff election in Georgia, which is happening as we speak. Polls opened this morning at 7 a.m. We are getting national reports of heavy turnout all over the state of Georgia, the Peach State of Georgia. Polls will close at 7 o'clock tonight. I would point you to special coverage tonight of the Georgia runoff elections. Will be on our station, Talk 101.3 The Buzz. You can access that a couple of ways, obviously on the radio, 101.3 Fox News coverage, but also on our app. You can download our free Mix 104.1 app. And by the way, it's new and improved in the last few days. Our Mix 104.1 app, download at mymix1041.com. And if you missed any of our interview with Senator Hagerty, you can go back and watch it on Mix TV through our app or website or any of our social media. Again, mymix1041.com. All right, for all of us at Mix 104.1, we do remind you we will have coverage of Walker Valley Bradley tonight. What a night this is going to be. A big crosstown rivalry basketball game. That's what we're all about, creating community. At Mix 104.1, we'll have coverage tonight on this station as well as on the free app and streaming at mymix1041.com. So it's a big day, a lot going on. Stick in here with us for all of it. Mix 104.1. Good day.